it's almost sad, you know, we're saying goodbye to this 20th Century Fox series of X-Men, you know, from the 2000s, literally from like 2000 with the first X-Men film, to Logan, which was a really, really good film, probably, in my opinion, should have been nominated for Best Picture in 2017, to X-Men Dark Phoenix. Now, it's sad, like I said, because it's basically my entire childhood. I grew up with those specific X-Men 1, X-Men 2, X3, and X-Men Origins Wolverine, which for me is still, I can watch that film and enjoy it just because it reminds me of being like 12 or something like that, so I get an enjoyment out of it, even though I acknowledge it's a terrible film. But this is apparently even worse than X-Men Origins Wolverine, and that is something which is very, very sad, especially as a send-off to the franchise. But this is a new clip for the film. It's called X-Woman. Now, just to be clear, I'm worried that it's a clip, because people have said this is absolute shit. I sort of question it because the last couple of trailers have actually been very, very well done. I've been incredibly impressed and surprised with the trailer work in the last couple I've seen over the last maybe 2-3 weeks. But this is a clip from the actual film, so it's not like there's some good work being done in editing to try and make this film seem better than it is, because apparently it really isn't that good. But let's get to this clip, X-Women. I can only imagine what it's going to be about, because I've actually read that it's specific shenanigans. So I don't know how it's going to go, but let's get to it. Maybe I'll agree with it. Who knows? Let's go. Nope. Wow, Nicholas Hoult still looks the same.
The X-Men have today done an incredibly brave thing. They have once again proved to humanity exactly why they need us, people like yourselves. The President sends his regards, as well as his heartfelt gratitude. And as for myself, I've never been prouder. Enjoy yourselves. You certainly deserve it. In fact, you all do. No more class at the end of the day.
Wow, you know, that feels like X-Men from the first X-Men film, so...
You gave us quite a scare up there. How are you feeling?
Actually, I feel fine.
Hank? Yeah. Would you take a look at Jean? Standard medical for anyone injured in the field. Thank you.
This is obviously when they've come back from in space.
He's almost sending his condolences. She should be dead.
Thankfully, she's not.
I basically did everything. And Jean did a little, like, towards the end. But it was mostly all me.
I mean, he does basically just save everyone in a way. It's hilarious, it seems.
Charles. You put those kids in danger.
Kids? They're
not kids.
Thank you.
Anymore,
they're not
really.
kids.
And I care about their safety just as much as you do.
Probably more.
You sure about that?
Wow.
'Cause we're taking bigger and bigger risks. And for what? Please, tell me it's not your ego. Being on the cover of magazines, getting a medal from the president. You like it, don't you?
Do you not understand?
Being hunted and despised. Well, you know, actually, I do.
It's not her. It's the writers.
What end is that?
Keeping us safe. You should understand better than anyone that we're only ever one bad day away from them starting to see us as the enemy again.
So what? We wear matching costumes and smile in pictures
That
to
is
make
a
everyone
small
feel
price
safe?
to pay for keeping the peace.
By risking our people to save theirs.
Our people.
Yes.
Sounds like...
It's funny. I can't actually remember the last time you were the one risking something. And by the way, the women are always saving the men around here. You might want to think about changing the name to X-Women.
Oh! What the fuck? What the fuck? There's this thing of like, would you be, I'm shocked, but it's so ridiculous. Like, it's actually funny. I don't know. I mean, just go with the one which I was stuck in my head right now, which is, I can't remember the last time you risked something. It's not her, it's the writers. But why would you give her that line? It just doesn't make sense. He gave up his ableness. He's disabled now. What are you talking? You look at him, he's in a wheelchair. What are you talking about? You were there when he literally lost his ability to walk. And then he lost it again in what was it, Days of Future Past? Yeah, he lost how to walk again, I think, in that one. And then he had to come off the meds so he can use his powers again, he's lost the ability to walk twice, not just once in this franchise so far. And you're saying that he's not lost anything? Are you a nutter? What the fuck? Are you joking? And hang on, these kids. There are very few things I remember from X-Men Apocalypse. One of them is Oscar Isaac doing very badly in that role, because I just think he didn't fit that role. I don't think the role fit him. He just wasn't a good match. Another thing was Psylocke being in the film for like 2 seconds with no lines. The other thing was Ben Hardy playing Angel, EastEnders lad, being in the film and had actually, I think, 1 line in the whole film. And the other thing was Mystique saying to the kids, because I distinctly remember it, where she says to the kids something along the lines of, "You're not kids anymore, you're X-Men." I was like, wow, that's a hard-hitting line. It was delivered okay, I guess, but she doesn't really want to be in these films anymore. You can sort of see it just in this bloody portrayal, what she's actually giving here. It just doesn't work, and the writing doesn't help. But she said in there, "You're not kids anymore, you're X-Men," in the last film. In this one, I would assume nearly 10 years on, between 8 and 10 years on. So all the people in this main cast of X-Men, all over the age of 24 or 25, I would assume. She's saying that they're kids. That doesn't really add up with what you said in the last film. Not what someone else said, what you said in the last film. So, stop chatting bullshit, because I'm calling that I'm smelling the bullshit. And, again, at the end, the women seem to keep on saving the men around here. I don't know what you've been watching, but everyone's been sort of saving everyone. And it probably leans more towards the men saving the women than anything else. I mean, I'm pretty sure in X-Men Apocalypse, you actually got saved by Beast at the end. Otherwise, you would have been killed. I could be wrong. He pulled you out of something? I can't remember exactly. It's not the most incredible film ever. X-Men Apocalypse, you're being saved all the time. X-Men Days of Future Past, sorry, you're being saved all the time. Everyone's trying to save you, apart from Magneto, who's trying to kill you. Which is just, I don't understand how you can say a line like that. Not you, obviously. It's the writers. How they can write a line like that and make you say it with any conviction when you know it's absolute rubbish. Like, I suppose it's a different take on Charles a little bit if they're going down this route. And that's fine. But the stuff which is around Charles's maybe different take on his character, what James McAvoy's done here and what the writers have done with him, is just so out there and wrong with what the characters are. And I understand Mystique. You know, they've taken her as a hero in this saga because Jennifer Lawrence is Jennifer Lawrence. And traditionally, Mystique is a hard nut villain. I mean, she's like she's a badass, you know, in the comics. And I remember in the X-Men TV shows, X-Men Evolution and in X-Men animated series, she's a badass, man. She'd kick anyone's butt. You know, she's feisty. But in this, she's sort of being portrayed as a hero. But she's saying that why would we risk our own people to save people who aren't like us? It's like that. I don't understand this anymore. I think you've really imploded the whole thing. You've decided to just say, fuck it, we're finishing. We've had to do so many reshoots. Let's just shoot the thing in the face and see where it goes, because this looks like absolute horse crap. I mean, some of the scenes look good. Some of the action shots look decent. But the character development here from specifically Jennifer Lawrence, I mean, she doesn't want to be in the film. From the trailers, it's sort of implied that she's going to get killed by Jean. I don't know if she is. If she is, then, I mean, this women killing women, so it doesn't really fit what she's saying there. But, yeah, I'm going to have to see it just because I have to round out all these films. Like, it's been a very arduous process to get through some of them, but there are standout things in all of these films, for good or bad reasons, one or the other. And hopefully this will not be as bad as X-Men The Last Stand, or X-Men Origins, Wolverine, or Apocalypse. I might actually say Apocalypse is worse than the other ones for me. It really, really was bad. Anyway, guys, if you did enjoy this video, please do like, share, comment, and subscribe. Take that channel down there if you didn't, then Mystique herself will come after you, alright? Savage! She's a savage, and you don't want that, you already know, so just subscribe anyway to avoid that. I've been Narendra the Comic. You have been great, I'll see you next time. Skadoosh.